You're not surprised, huh? It's like you knew Mia was pregnant. Hey, Dad, you knew something, didn't you? Hearing Rowan's words, Noah snorted with a hint of triumph and started talking without any remorse. First off, it's your fault for saying you're gonna leave the house or not sending money, you know? Mia was always nice to me. Probably liked me more than you, I guess. Rowan was on the verge of exploding with anger at Noah's carefree and disconnected ramblings. So, you leaving your wife alone at home saying you're on a business trip or whatever, she got lonely, right? Had no choice but to entertain her. I'm the father of the child she's carrying. Sorry, but it was Mia who came on to me. Let's raise the baby together. I felt like I was going to faint at Noah's awful statement. Rowan was like, what? Are you kidding me? And I had to stop him with all my might from smashing his phone. But after that, it was like a scene from hell. How long do you plan to stay a child? You want kids? Who's gonna raise them? Stop wanting kids just to satisfy your own desires. Kids are lives. They're not your toys. I will protect my dear son Rowan and his family, Mia. Do you have anything to protect? At best, you have your tiny pride. If you have time to protect that, would you please just go to hell? I will never forgive you. My name is Amelia Smith, a 43-year-old working mother. I have a son named Rowan, whom I gave birth to when I was 20. I married Noah, my current husband, 6 years ago when Rowan was 17. Rowan's father was a senior in college who loved research and was very smart. We were planning to get married when he graduated and found a job. But he died in an unexpected accident while on a research trip abroad. I gave birth alone and managed to raise Rowan with help from my parents. That's when I met Noah. Noah was a regular customer who came to the cafe where I was working almost every day. He always ordered ginger ale, which I found childishly memorable. As we saw each other every day, I started to become interested in him. Despite his handsome face, Noah was talkative, always cracking jokes and making me laugh whenever he came to my table. He usually came with friends, but sometimes he would wait outside alone until I finished work. Hey Amelia, good job. How about we grab some food together, he would ask, and we went on a few dates. With Rowan being busy with his home tutor and studying late, I was able to enjoy a bit of time for myself. And as we spent more time together, I began to think about marrying Noah. After losing Rowan's father before we could marry, I thought I could never marry again. But Noah appeared like an oasis when I was desperately raising Rowan alone. I wanted to walk through life with Noah, who treated me properly as a woman despite being older. Above all, Rowan took to Noah well. Noah, then in his 20s, might have seemed like an older brother to Rowan. But Noah took Rowan out to play and cared for him a lot. So, when Noah proposed, although I was surprised, I decided to marry him, wanting to give Rowan a father. Rowan, smart and well-behaved like his father, started calling Noah Dad instead of Mr. Noah soon after we got married. Noah wasn't displeased either, saying things like, I'm gonna work even harder now to support the family. 6 years have passed since I married Noah. Rowan graduated from college and found a job. I also quit the cafe where I was working and have been working full-time since Rowan started college. This morning, as I was busy preparing to leave for a meeting, Noah woke up. I was drinking coffee in the kitchen as a substitute for breakfast when Noah got up. Good morning. Want something to eat? I asked Noah, who had sat down on the sofa, but he shook his head. Seems like he doesn't have an appetite. Probably hungover from drinking late into the night again. After finishing my coffee, I grabbed my bag and was about to leave the house when Noah, with a sleepy voice, spoke up. I'm heading out this evening. Can I have some money? I sighed, thinking not this again. If I don't give him money now, he'll just come to my office to get it. So, reluctantly, I placed some bills on the table. Then, Noah said thanks, took the money, and went back to the bedroom. I watched his back as he left and then walked out the front door. Noah quit his job the moment I landed a stable job as an employee. With Rowan starting college and the need for money, I thought it was a good idea to work. But it defeats the purpose if Noah quits his job. Despite my urging him to find another job, he'd say things like, "You're working, so why do I need to?" Where did all the enthusiasm from when we first got married go? Yet, even if I had been single, I intended to send Rowan to college, so I just thought of it as having one more child to support and worked desperately. I hoped Noah would find a job eventually. But Noah, who had always lived a flashy lifestyle, just kept taking money from me and heading out into the night. I didn't want to worry Rowan, who was working hard in his studies, so I kept Noah's unemployment a secret for a while. However, Rowan, being smart and perceptive, figured it out quickly. Still, he didn't blame Noah and even started giving him an allowance out of his own part-time job earnings, saying, "Give this to Dad." This went on for years. Noah showed no signs of starting work and just kept asking for money like he did this morning. He said he's going out this evening, probably to drink again. Noah, popular among his friends, never turns down an invitation. Dressed in branded clothes and decked out in fancy accessories. He lived the same lifestyle before and after we got married. When I came home from work that day, surprisingly, Noah was in the living room. Sitting on the sofa, he seemed to be drinking alone. "Huh? I thought you were going out," I asked, to which he replied, "The guy I was supposed to go drinking with had an emergency. Something about his kid getting a fever." I could have asked someone else, but hearing kid just killed the mood, so I decided not to go out, and he downed his glass of liquor in frustration. The mention of a child having a fever might mean he was planning to meet a woman. Despite my suspicions, I simply said, "That's too bad," and headed to the kitchen. Then, Noah put down his glass and let out a heavy sigh. "Guess it's true. Can't expect kids from a woman over 40, huh?" Noah's words struck a chord. All the guys my age have kids already. I wish I could experience parenting. I want my own child. Why can't we have kids? He muttered as if talking to himself, yet loud enough for me to hear. And Rowan. He used to be cute, but now he's 23, got a job at a good company, and he's become so arrogant. Lost all his charm. Sometimes looks at me as if I'm trash. Really pisses me off. When we got married, Noah wanted his own children. I wanted to fulfill that wish for him. Being close to 40, we even tried fertility treatments and took special care in our daily lives. But 6 years into our marriage, we're still not blessed with children. Occasionally, when Noah is drunk, he spews words that blame me. Unaware of the dark shadows those words cast on my heart each time. "Mom, can we talk for a sec?" "Oh. Is Dad not around?" One day, after coming back from work, Rowan called me into the living room. Still in his suit, he looked dashing with his glasses on. Seeing him like this, he really resembles his late father. He's probably out drinking again. I think he'll be back soon though. It was just past 11 p.m. If he's not back by now, he'll likely come home in the morning. Lately, Noah has been repeatedly going out at night and not always coming home. As usual, he doesn't work, just spends his nights out. "Mom, are you okay?" "I'm always on your side, no matter what," Rowan said, smiling just like he always does. He's a solid presence, always there to protect me. And I've firmly decided in my heart to always protect Rowan too. Just then, the sound of the front door opening echoed. Unsteady footsteps came down the hall, and the living room door opened. Isn't that Rowan? Don't just work all the time, have a drink, lighten up." Noah seemed in a slightly good mood today. Occasionally, when Rowan and Noah bump into each other in the living room, it ends up in an argument. Noah often accuses Rowan of looking down on him, revealing his inferiority complex for quitting his job while Rowan successfully landed a good one. "Dad, welcome back. Can we talk for a bit?" Rowan said, inviting Noah to sit on the sofa. I sat down next to them. Rowan took a seat on a stool across the table from us, looked us in the eyes with a serious expression, and said, "Dad, Mom, I've been thinking about moving out. There's someone I want to marry. I couldn't hide my surprise at Rowan's sudden announcement. Of course, it was a surprise in the happiest sense. Noah seemed at a loss for words. Really? Congratulations! What about the wedding? Do you have plans for it? Eagerly asked Rowan. No, we plan to register our marriage first and think about the ceremony when my work schedule settles down. Rowan replied, a bit bashfully. In fact, I've met Rowan's girlfriend a few times. She's a wonderful young lady, elegant yet independent. As I was feeling thrilled, Noah looked somewhat troubled. Moving out. Are you serious? What about me? You're gonna keep sending money, right? I was dumbfounded by Noah's words. Even at a time like this, he was worried about himself. I was appalled and shocked to learn that Rowan had been giving him money. Dad, once I get married, I'll be moving out. I'll have my own family, so I can't keep giving you money like before. If you need money, why don't you work? You're only 35, there's plenty of jobs out there. Rowan spoke up for me, saying what I hadn't been able to. He must have known that this would infuriate Noah, but he said it anyway. As expected, Noah burst out, "There you go looking down on me again. I don't care about your marriage or whatever, but I won't allow you to move out." And keep sending the money as usual, and started to make a scene. After rampaging for a bit, the alcohol took over, and he fell asleep. After carrying Noah to the bedroom, Rowan came back to the living room. And then, "What a troublesome dad," he said, giving me a smile. I once again told him, "Rowan, congratulations on your wedding." Noah, who had been so opposed to Rowan's marriage, seemed to have changed his mind a bit. Over the weekend, Rowan brought his fiancée, Mia, to our house. I had met her a few times before, but she seemed more mature and carried an even more dignified aura than the last time. "My name is Mia. It's a pleasure to meet you." Her deep bow, the straight posture when drinking tea, and her manners were impeccable. Her makeup was modest, her skin was beautiful, and her black hair was lustrous. Noah, who usually lounges around in sweats, rushed into his room to change his clothes and even did his hair, just as if he were going out for drinks, the moment he saw Mia. Mia, though seeming reserved, had plenty of topics to talk about, and the conversation never dried up. Noah seemed quite taken with Mia. After she left, he even asked Rowan to bring her along next time. All in all, I was relieved to see Rowan's marriage moving forward smoothly. Several times after that, Rowan brought Mia over. Each time, Noah was in a good mood, welcoming Mia, and sometimes he even insisted that she stay over. I kept a careful eye on Noah. I had seen him, drunk on alcohol, trying to touch Mia subtly when Rowan wasn't looking. No matter how much he liked her, persistent body contact with his son's fiancée is not something I could approve of. Mia, though troubled, seemed to handle Noah quite well. When I couldn't stand it anymore, I would wedge myself between Noah and Mia and sit down heavily. Each time, Noah would yell at me, "What the hell, woman? Go away," but I didn't care about his verbal abuse. Protecting my son's fiancée was more important. After a while, Rowan and Mia got married on her 23rd birthday. They became an official couple, but since Rowan's job was so busy, they hadn't decided on a new place to live yet. For the time being, they planned to live mainly at Mia's place, which she had been maintaining on her own. It felt lonely thinking about Rowan moving out, but I wholeheartedly blessed their new beginning. "I'll come by often. Also, I have a 2-week business trip coming up. During that time, can Mia come over to pick up some things? She'll be coming and going from the house, is that okay?" Mia's place isn't too far from ours, it seems. I immediately agreed to Rowan's request. However, I had some concerns, so I made a suggestion to Rowan, which he readily accepted. "Mom, thank you." Rowan's simple words of gratitude warmed my heart. The one who should be grateful is me. I've decided to protect my precious son and his family. 3 months have passed since Rowan and Mia got married. Initially, they used to visit often, but lately, they hardly ever come. Hey, aren't Rowan and Mia coming? If Rowan is busy, just have Mia come over, Noah said, trying to invite Mia to the house. Sometimes he'd even say, if they won't come here, I'll go there, and try to barge into Rowan and Mia's place. I definitely had to stop that. Then Noah would say, well, I guess Mia will end up living here eventually, making some insinuating comments. Even if he's my son, intruding too much into a newlywed couple's life is just bad manners. Noah reluctantly agreed when I pointed that out. Knowing he couldn't see Mia, Noah started going out more often. He doesn't work, asks for money, and tries to interfere with his married son's life. I started to wonder why I'm still with Noah. Initially, I liked him for his handsome looks, good conversation skills, and kindness. Rowan got along well with him, and he even said he'd work hard for our family. But as time passed, he quit his job and never stopped playing around, turning into a hopeless man. Even his ginger ale turned into whiskey. I can't give Noah the child he wants. Now that Rowan is independent, I wonder if there's any point in staying with Noah. Alone in the living room, I was contemplating my future. That's when the house's doorbell rang. It was nearly midnight. Thinking it was Noah coming home, I unlocked the door without checking the monitor. Soon after, the front doorbell rang. It was Rowan. Mom, sorry for dropping by at this hour. Is Dad around? Rowan looked unusually stern, a look I had never seen on him before. When I told him Noah hadn't come home yet, Rowan grimaced and clicked his tongue. Something I had never seen him do. Something must have happened. I let Rowan into the living room and had him sit on the sofa. He remained silent, looking down, his face still stern. Feeling perplexed by his intensity and not knowing what to say, Rowan finally broke the silence. Mom. I know it's hard not to be surprised, but I need you to be prepared for what I'm about to tell you. The thing is, Mia is pregnant, Rowan said. Despite his warning not to be surprised, I couldn't help but express my joy aloud. Pregnant? Congratulations! That's wonderful news, I was so startled. I was nervous about what I was going to hear, expecting some dire news, but a pregnancy was a delightful update. Yet, Rowan's stern expression didn't fade. Then he told me a terrifying story. Mia had only recently found out she was pregnant. She had been feeling unwell, so Rowan went with her to the hospital, where they were told of her pregnancy. At the hospital, Rowan was overjoyed and even felt moved. However, he was concerned about Mia's gloomy expression. Thinking she was just feeling under the weather, he let her rest at home, but then an incident occurred that night. Woken by a noise and loud voices, Rowan found Mia in the kitchen, crying loudly and holding a knife. Rowan quickly took the knife from her and, while calming her down, gently guided her to sit on the sofa. It wasn't until after 3 a.m. that Mia finally calmed down. The next day was a holiday, so Rowan stayed by Mia's side all day. Considering Mia's actions, I knew there had to be a significant reason. I told her numerous times that I'm on her side, no matter what. Eventually, she opened up to me. And then I heard the story from Rowan. It was shocking. Hearing the appalling details left me trembling and speechless. Feeling an unfathomable anger from Rowan. It wasn't sadness or frustration but a fierce rage. His fists were clenched so tightly they seemed to bleed. In the silence, my phone rang. The screen showed Noah. Seeing this, Rowan pressed the answer button and switched to speakerphone. Hey, Amelia, you up? I'm not coming home tonight. And I gotta go out tomorrow too, so just leave some money before you go to work, will ya? Counting on you. The voice of Noah, seemingly drunk and in high spirits, came through the phone. Hearing Noah's voice seemed to erase the angry expression from Rowan's face, leaving a look of detached emotion. Dad? You're out drinking again tonight, huh? The usual gentle way Rowan spoke now sounded terrifying. Oh. Rowan? What, you're here? Is Mia with you? If Mia was coming, I should have stayed home. Noah chuckled through the phone, prompting Rowan to frown. Dad, Mia's at her parents' house right now. Listen, Mia's pregnant, Rowan said quietly. I clasped my hands together as if in prayer, listening intently to what would follow. Ah, is that so? That's great. A kid, huh? That's great. Noah's reaction caused Rowan's fists to tighten even more. His fists were quietly yet fiercely trembling. You're not surprised? It's like you knew Mia was pregnant. Hey, Dad, you know something, don't you? I thought it cruel to let Rowan say anything more, but I was already in tears, unable to say anything to Noah. Upon hearing Rowan's words, Noah laughed through his nose with a sense of triumph, starting his talk without any sign of remorse. First off, it's your fault for talking about leaving home or not sending money, you know? And catching such a cute wife, how much more of a winner can you be? You always looked down on me, didn't you? But Mia was nice to me. Probably liked me more than you, I guess. I don't know, but I just seem to attract married women. Noah's carefree, disjointed ramble was about to make Rowan explode with anger. That's why, leaving your wife alone at home saying you're on a business trip or whatever, she got lonely, right? Had no choice but to keep her company. I'm the father of the child she's carrying. Sorry, but it was Mia who came onto me. Let's raise the child together. At Noah's appalling statement, I felt like I was going to faint. Rowan, with a look of disbelief, was about to smash his phone, so I stopped him with all my strength. But what followed was a scene from hell. Rowan stood up, kicking the sofa. Every trinket on a nearby shelf scattered, and the teacup filled with tea flew somewhere. He tore down the curtains, and the rails brackets scattered. A vase fell over, spilling flowers and water everywhere. Rowan's eyes were completely gone elsewhere. Not focusing on anything. I wrapped Rowan in a nearby blanket and hugged him tightly. Like soothing a fussy child, I calmed Rowan's heart. Eventually, Rowan stopped raging, but as he crumbled to his knees, he began to shed big tears. The call with Noah had already ended. Rowan and I cried together for a while. How long had passed, I couldn't tell. It felt like we had cried out all the water in our bodies. Rowan, with an emotionless face like before, seemed deep in thought. Then looking at me, he said, Mom, shall we send him to hell? Rowan proposed a terrifying plan of revenge. Of course, I was all in. I nodded without saying a word. Noah, not working but always begging for money, enjoying his nights out. Are the nights out fun? Does the alcohol taste better with money earned by someone else? And does destroying the love and care someone nurtured for their own selfish desires feel good? The Noah of the past was too good for me, a truly wonderful person. Yes, that was in the past. Thank you for getting along with Rowan when he was still a child. I appreciate it. But you know, it seems Rowan has long surpassed your emotional maturity. How long do you plan to stay a child? You want kids? Who's going to raise them? Please stop wanting kids just to satisfy your own desires. Children are lives. They're not your toys. I will protect my precious son Rowan and his family, Mia. Do you have anything to protect? At best, you have your tiny pride. If you have time to protect that, would you please just go to hell? I will never forgive you. Rowan and I are now determinedly heading to Noah's place. It's been a month since Noah made that appalling confession, and I haven't returned to that house. Currently, Rowan and I are living in a hotel in the city. I just couldn't bring myself to face Noah. The thought of such a man being my husband fills me with disgust. No, disgust doesn't even begin to cover the loathing I feel towards Noah. During my absence from the house, Noah called several times, but his calls were always about begging for money. Without any concern that I hadn't come home or apologies to Rowan, he'd always start with, "Hey, Amelia. Cut it out already. Because you're not sending money, I can't go out drinking." Since he was so annoying, I once transferred him an amount of money that any normal person wouldn't struggle without for at least a month. However, Noah seemed to have spent that money in one night. Having fulfilled my duty once, I've decided to ignore Noah's calls from then on. Noah is the kind of person who would barge into my workplace for money. Thinking it would be a bother to my company, I explained the situation and resigned. Also, to avoid Noah coming to Rowan's house, we're now using the hotel as our base. Mia decided to rest at her parents' house for a while. Over this month, Rowan and I have struggled hard to protect what is precious to us. We can't just keep crying. We have things we must do to move forward. Armed with the information we've gathered over the month, Rowan and I have come to Noah's place. Since I told him I'm coming home today, Noah should be quietly waiting at home. Probably thinking he's going to get money. Noah will flexibly adjust to our convenience if it means getting money. Truly, a creature of greed. I pressed the doorbell of my own house. It's strange to think of this place as my own home. But now, I don't want to consider this house, where Noah lives, as my home. Rowan probably feels the same way. When we first married, I was grateful to Noah for accepting me and Rowan. That's why, even when Noah quit his job to fool around, I felt obligated to serve him out of gratitude. 6 years have passed, the grace period is over. Moreover, Noah has committed a grave mistake. We will never forgive Noah. Hearing the door unlock, Rowan and I step into the den of the devil. In the living room, Noah, dressed in his usual going-out style, was sitting on the sofa. I'm about to head out, so make it quick if you want to talk. Oh, and leave the money, will you? While slipping on a flashy watch on his left wrist, Noah hummed a tune and said that. The atmosphere suggested he was probably heading out on a date with a woman. Despite this, I felt no jealousy, making me wonder what kind of wife I am. Rowan, facing Noah, remained calmer than I expected, which was a relief. Before coming here, I had checked Rowan to make sure he wasn't carrying anything dangerous. He told me I was worrying too much, but his anger at that time was indescribable. I thought it wouldn't be surprising if Rowan did something drastic upon meeting Noah today. Rowan, with a composed voice, asked Noah, "Dad, don't you have anything to say to me?" After thinking for a moment, Noah said, $3,000 a month should be fine. It's a bit tight, but I should manage with that as pocket money. Amelia will pay the rent, and Mia will take care of the housework, right? I'll appoint you as my allowance manager." I was speechless at Noah's words, unsure if he was serious or joking. Rowan glared at Noah with an icy expression. Disappointing. You hurt Mia like that and don't have a single word of apology. Not that an apology would make me forgive you. But I wished you'd shown at least a bit of sincerity. Noah, with a nonchalant face, retorted. Why should I be the one to apologize? It's because you were away on business trips, leaving the house empty, right? Mia came over to pick up your stuff and complained to me. You're always busy with work and boring, she said. Plus, she was lonely because you were away for 2 weeks. I've told you, she came on to me, okay? If you're gonna be mad at your sloppy wife, not me. Noah said, spraying an overpowering fragrance on himself. Rowan stood up by Noah's words. But I hurriedly made him sit back down and calmed him. After cooling down a bit, Rowan said to Noah, Don't insult Mia. It's clear that Mia is innocent. You tricked her and took advantage of her. Rowan glared at Noah. With a casual face, Noah replied, Tricked? That sounds terrible. If you're going that far, show some proof, huh? Proof, as if there's any? Noah appeared confident. Perhaps because he had some assurance. Indeed, the surveillance camera installed at the entrance had been disconnected, leaving no recording of Rowan's absence. Therefore, there was no record of Mia's or Noah's comings and goings. The same was true for the apartment's security office. The surveillance camera power had been turned off. The superintendent mentioned there might have been a temporary power outage, but would the security cameras be off for such an extended period only? We were convinced that it was a deliberate act by Noah. It was naive and careless of him. To think disabling the surveillance cameras would make him victorious. "Since you're asking for it, I'll show you the evidence you want," Rowan said, staring straight at Noah and launching an app on his smartphone. It was an app to play audio, which played sounds recorded on a device like a voice recorder transferred to the smartphone. Rowan played the recording decisively. The audio started with a conversation between Mia, who had come to Noah's house to pick up something, and Noah. It ended with Noah's thanks for coming, suggesting Mia had left the house. However, the problem came after. A loud door slam was heard, likely when Mia returned. Immediately after, another big slam and Mia's scream indicated someone had opened the door and entered. "What's going on? How did you know where to find me? Wait, did you follow me?" Mia's frightened voice was heard. "Don't say it like I stalked you. I just forgot to tell you something and came by. Did you know? Rowan has a huge debt. I've been covering for him, but he hasn't paid me back at all. Maybe you can talk to him?" At Noah's words, I couldn't help but look at Rowan's face. Rowan shook his head in disbelief. "Debt? I don't know anything about that." Mia's voice was trembling. Noah listened to the audio with a distorted face. "I need it paid back soon too. If Rowan can't pay with money, then you'll have to compensate in another way." Rowan stopped the playback there. I had checked it once, and what followed was unbearable to listen to. Noah was threatening Mia, demanding money, or else she had to pay back with her body. Of course, there is no truth to Rowan having any debt. It was a complete fabrication, a lie by Noah. "I gave Mia a voice recorder to carry when I was away on business trips, in case something happened. I told her to press the record button first thing in the morning and keep it in her pocket. It was the right decision. As expected, you did something terrible to Mia." Rowan recounted a precaution I had advised him about previously. I had shared my concerns about Noah's interactions with Mia, prompting Rowan to have Mia carry a voice recorder. "Ha! Just audio alone can't be considered evidence, right? Nowadays, anything can be edited. That audio could easily be faked. Without video, it doesn't count as evidence." Noah was clearly rattled but still had the energy to argue back. Rowan sighed softly and continued. "Sorry, but there is video. Mia sent me daily video messages while I was on a business trip. They were quite lengthy, so she recorded them on her computer. That day, she was working on her computer before going to pick up the package. And then you showed up at her house. So, it's all captured. The computer's built-in camera recorded everything in the room," Rowan said, tears in his eyes. It must have been painful to verify such footage of Mia. Despite that, Rowan fought to prove Mia's innocence and to trust her. "This isn't a joke. Get rid of that video and audio right now. What are you planning to do by threatening me? What's your goal? It's your fault for not giving me money. It should be a joyous occasion that the family is growing, right?" Noah's selfish remarks made Rowan slam his hand on the table. "Threat? You're the one who deceived and threatened Mia. Stalking her and taking advantage of her absence is nothing but cowardly and vile. The worst possible action." Rowan's conviction made even Noah flinch. "I will demand compensation from you." The word compensation elicited a big reaction from Noah. "What are you talking about? You think I can afford to pay compensation?" Noah retorted with a half-laugh. At this point, no emotions stirred within me anymore. Not even anger. Rowan calmly informed Noah. "If you can't pay, then jail it is." Noah's actions were nothing short of a grave sin. Neither Rowan nor I had any intention of forgiving Noah. Let him suffer through compensation or jail time. "You, planning to put your parent in jail? Even if we're not blood related, I'm the husband of your dear mother. Are you okay with making your mother sad by committing such unfilial acts?" Noah's late use of the word parent only deepened my disdain. Taking over for Rowan, I decided to confront Noah with reality. Noah, thank you for your concern. But you're no longer going to be Rowan's father, so rest assured. We're getting divorced. Though I doubt you'll agree easily, so let's go through lawyers. Oh, and I'll also be demanding compensation from you, so look forward to it. My words left Noah speechless, his mouth agape but silent. You've been involved with quite a few women, haven't you? I've done some digging. If you want evidence, just ask. There are plenty of scene photos. Many of them were married women. Just as you said, you do attract married women. I expect you'll be receiving compensation demands from their husbands too, so good luck. Had I not indulged Noah and divorced him sooner, perhaps Mia and Rowan wouldn't have been hurt. Thinking this makes my heart ache. That's why I'm determined to make Noah face consequences here. The trial with Noah will no doubt be bitter for me too. But it's also a lesson for myself, and I'm prepared to accept it. By the way, just a side note, Mia's family is somewhat traditional, having protected their land for generations. Something about a young crew or some group was mentioned. Mia's father is the 8th generation and a true gentleman. He said he'd be coming to greet you regarding this incident. Rowan mentioned, causing Noah to go pale. Likely, those coming to greet him are from a profession of repute. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Amelia, you're really going to abandon me? If Mia has a child, it'll be mine, right? Why not raise it together instead of getting a divorce? Since you couldn't have kids, we should raise Mia's child together, right? Noah remained Noah, utterly unaware of the selfishness of his words. I had planned not to tell Noah the truth out of last respect, but he deserves to know. Rowan nodded to me, then calmly told Noah. Sorry, but the child Mia is carrying isn't yours, it's mine. We've checked the weeks at the hospital and did the math. Taking everything into account, it's my child. Noah couldn't argue against Rowan's calm and firm statement. I added. You might not have been informed, but remember when we went for infertility treatments together? We underwent several tests, and it turned out, the cause of infertility was your male infertility. There wasn't a single viable cell from you. That's the situation. Noah's face showed the deepest despair he had all day. Without money, losing his family, and now his dignity as a man at stake. It was the moment his tiny pride was blown away by a gust of wind. Tears streamed down Noah's face as he crumbled to his knees. Not an ounce of sympathy stirred within me. What will become of Noah now? However, since we'll no longer be married, it's no concern of mine. It's a case of reaping what you sow. He should have stuck to ginger ale instead of learning the taste of alcohol. Now, I live near Rowan and Mia's new home. It's uncouth to drop by too often, so I visit as needed, mainly to assist the pregnant Mia. Despite her pregnancy, Mia actively engages in household chores and exercises. However, there are days when she feels unwell, and I step in to prepare meals or clean. My relationship with Mia is so good that sometimes Rowan gets jealous. I don't know where he got the money, but Dad paid the compensation in one lump sum. Rowan informed me after Mia had gone to sleep. Likely, Noah had to appeal to his own parents. Apparently, Noah was a bit of a spoiled child raised strictly, which led him to go off the rails and stay away from his parents' home for a while. Ideally, he should serve time in prison to atone for his sins, but Mia refused that idea. He should suffer in the open world, said the daughter of the 8th generation, firmly. Living exposed to public scrutiny as punishment. Earning his own living, paying where he owes, and atoning. There's no way we're letting him escape into a cage, Mia said with her beautiful resolve, surprising both Rowan and me. Rowan's doing well at work, eagerly awaiting the birth of their child. Buying baby clothes and toys so much that the house feels cramped, Mia complained. My divorce with Noah was finalized through mediation. I plan to visit Rowan's father's grave this weekend to report everything. On a mild autumn day, blessed with gentle sunlight, Mia gave birth. The healthy girl named Hannah seemed to resemble Rowan a bit. I found another person I want to protect. The tiny hand grasped my finger tightly when I offered it.